Hi, everybody. I'm DJ Sixsmith. Welcome to Sit Down. Abby McEnany is back with us. Work in Progress is back, season 2, August 22nd on Showtime. Abby, what's up? How are you?
Hey, how are you? I'm really well. I'm actually up in Wisconsin at my sister's house for just to be up here for a couple days. We're still in post-production, but I got to come up for a few days, so I'm really excited.
It's nice you could see some family, take a break from the action. How excited
Yeah.
are you for season 2 to drop in a little while here?
I mean, I don't think you're going to be surprised since we met a few years ago. I'm really nervous about it. It tracks. It's on brand, but I'm also really, really excited. I'm super grateful that we got to do this again. And I don't know, it was really an amazing experience. And of course, super challenging, but I'm super grateful.
You know, it's funny. We met in 2019 in December, just right before season 1 came out. You're like, I don't even know if it's going to happen. I'm like,
I don't even know.
It's going to happen. Come on.
I know. I remember. I was like, well, yeah, it's supposed to. I mean, I've seen the trailer. It's supposed to come out. I don't know. We'll see. This business is. You never count on anything. So.
It's really incredible because it's just been this whole journey for you, right? Doing improv in Chicago, getting the show later on in your career. Now the show came out, people really enjoyed it. People have found it on streaming. What was that whole process and experience like for you?
It's wild, and I think I know I do a lot of like protective stuff for like my braid, and I still kind of can't really believe it. I think that might sound like, oh, she's just saying she can't believe it. It's really wild. Yeah. And I guess since I know I talk ad nauseum about it, but I hate social media. I'm not on social media. So I don't really know, I know we got pretty well reviewed, and that was really, that felt great. But, I'm usually just in Chicago around my neighborhood, or like last year, I never left the house because I was terrified. So I'm really, you remember this? I just sputter a lot.
I know. That's why I like talking to you. You're a good hang all the time. And the cool thing is we never know where we're going to go in these conversations.
And I remember when I met your editor, I was like, dude, you got a lot of work to do. Sorry about that, buddy. Yeah, so I don't know. It's really overwhelming, and I to be on set after that year, and having our crew back, and our crew is so lovely, and I can't say enough how much they take care of me and take care of the show, and it's a real collaborative process. And this season especially was just was wonderful. And also it's super hard. Everybody's communicating from here to here. And so you lose some of that, that intimacy of collaboration or expression. And so that was super challenging. But as one of the actors, at least we were able to at least take our masks off for while we were shooting. So that was we had to breathe fibers for a bit. But yeah, really, really grateful. How many times did I say grateful? Not enough, DJ.
Never say enough. You're happy, you're grateful. It's really cool to see this. And it's also cool how this show has resonated, because when we chatted last time, it was, there's no shame about your mental illness. You're talking about body image, which is super important. What does it mean to you to use your platform to talk about these really important issues here?
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like we don't do it on purpose. It's just the story of obviously the character's based on me, and it's just we're just showing our life, and what does life look like, right? So and I don't think it's we don't go in and we were so lucky this year, and that we got to have writers. Last year, when we started writing, we didn't have a budget, so we just wrote it on our own. And this year we were lucky enough to get a bunch of wonderful writers, and but we don't go in and sit okay, these are the 12 topics that we're going to tackle, and it's just kind of I don't know. And the fact that hopefully it does resonate. And also there are no heroes and no villains. Everybody's a complex person, and it's kind of just trying to do their best. And I don't know. It feels, yeah.
So Abby, you've had this incredible journey on the show and also in real life, right? Because Celeste is your best friend. She plays Campbell on the show. How cool is it to enjoy that with her?
We laugh all the time. we met over a keg at this big lesbo party in Chicago. She was living in Iowa at the time. It was called the Capricorn Party, and it would happen every January. And and she was, yeah, she came up from Iowa. She met some girl like that I knew on like an AOL chat room. Like, okay, Celeste, everybody, it doesn't matter. Anyway, and so we met over a cake at this party, like, and that was like probably in like early 90s, like or mid 90s, I think. And it's just wild. Like here we are, like doing this. It is really, really outrageously fun. And we have a lot more scenes this year together. Like we delve a lot into Campbell and Abby's relationship. So I was just more on, like, I got to do way more scenes this year with Celeste, which is a joy. And she's so great. And I don't know, to go through this with somebody who has known you for so long, and like is in there with you and like really gets it. And she's so funny. We got to improvise a lot, and those were just the best. I mean, she's just so wonderful. So yeah, that was great. And then like, and then Mary Stone, who plays my boss, Susan, like she's back this year and she's so great. And like, and she's just one of the most talented, funniest people on the face of the planet as well. So yeah, we just had a ball. I mean, it was just, yeah, it is wild to be like, oh, right. Remember, like Mary and I were on an improv team years and years ago. And like, oh, remember we were like rehearsing at a park district? Like we had to reserve the park, and it was like really hot, and there were kids playing next door, and we were like, hey, let's get up and do some scenes. I mean, it is just kind of what's happening. Yeah. And I love saying that we're in Chicago and we're like, there's so many talented folks here, so many creatives, and it's awesome.
Improv is so huge in Chicago, as we've talked about before, but to have it be mainstream on TV, we've seen it with other shows, right? With Curb, obviously,
oh
and
yeah,
shows over the years. But for you to be able to do it, I mean, what's it like walking around Chicago now when folks see you?
Well, I mean, honestly, again, like really didn't leave that for a long time. And then I mean, I'm not really recognized very often, and it's just sort of like, oh hey, yeah. I mean, yeah, not much has changed, which is kind of lovely.
Well, it's good because you're a private person, right? You can kind of just keep doing your thing, which is nice. Like, yeah, I do this TV show, but some people know me, some people don't.
Yeah, most people don't, so which is good. And it's really the main theater that I performed at, IO, closed down over the pandemic, and it was like, oh no. So my improv team, Virgin Daiquiri, we're like trying to find places to perform again, and that's just like, it's a real lifeline for me and for so many folks. So hopefully we're going to get back up and be able to do it some more.
Yeah, and it means a little bit more, especially what we've all gone through, right? We've been so isolated, and we've just been at home, and like to do improv with other people, to work with other people, like, that's super meaningful at this point, right?
It really is. And I think improv, like the tenet is really, it's based on trust, and you go up there and you create together, and you succeed, and then I'm gonna put fail in quotes, like you can crumble together, and it's just like, it's community, and it's like it's just this community of trust, and then it's just collaboration, and not possible over Zoom or from far away, and it is a gift. I haven't been able to do it yet, and I'm so I think they're doing a show tonight actually, and I'm up in Wisconsin, but yeah, so I am really looking forward to it. It's just so beautiful. I go on about improv all the time, as you know. So.
As you should. It's been such a part of your life, and you still get to do it.
I know. Like, and we got to improvise a lot more this season, and it's it was a ball. It's a ball. Yeah.
That's really cool. So besides more improv in season 2, what else can folks expect? Whether they've watched it, whether they haven't watched it, what should people be excited about here?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I never said something to be excited about. My self-talk, DJ. I think this season we see a lot of like, as the first season ends with Abby doing something really, really horrible to somebody that she loved, and so this season is a lot about like, how does somebody move on from that, especially somebody who's depressed and suicidal or has suicidality, and how do you move on? How do you find redemption with yourself, with the community, like how do you rebuild, and how do you find the support to rebuild, and how do you start showing up for other people, and I think we see that a lot. We'll see that a lot. And then like also, you know, mental illness is a huge part of the show and of my life. And just like where, you know, what's the history of that? And where does that, like, can that be seen? And like, you know, in your history, like you can you kind of like mine where that is? And yeah, so I think that's part of it. That sounds like a ball. Anyways, people are always like, when they tell them the show is, they're like, and it's a comedy, we swear. You know?
Yeah, we're gonna mention all these really dark topics, but we're gonna make you laugh.
I mean, dark comedy is my jam. So yeah. So and there, you know, it's really fun. I'm way more involved in post-production this year. It's been really exciting. I'm learning a lot, and it's just really it's real cool.
And you got a budget this year. I mean, that's.
I mean, we got to have writers this year.
Yeah.
It was pretty powerful. Yeah, it was pretty powerful. And
That's
also,
really
you know,
cool.
just to have like more diverse, like, you know, have a more last year it was like 3 white folks. You know, we had a trans woman, a queer woman, and then a straight cis guy, and we're all white. And you know, it's what we had to do. And then this year it is not that, which is such a gift, you know. And yeah, it's important.
It's just nice to have the diversity in the room, and even for you to be involved with more post-production, like to have more control over oversight. Like,
yeah.
how much of a difference does that make ultimately when you think
it feels really good? I mean, like there were a lot of reasons that didn't happen last year. I mean, I could have been there was just a lot of other stuff going on, and it just feels really good to be able to be really with it from the beginning to the end. And yeah, and like, you know, working with Lily Wachowski, of course, is a dream, and to have her as your partner is pretty cool. You know,
yeah, it's not a bad deal, right?
Yeah, I know. People are always like, so this is your first job? I'm like, yeah, it's my first, like, you know, I was, you know, it's my first like professional job. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty, like, you know, anything after this, if I ever get, I always hope I'm like, I hope I get to work more, but like, it'll be like, how, you know, it's pretty cool. It's really neat.
No doubt about it. Did folks find your show during the pandemic? I mean, we're all looking to watch different things. I mean, did you have any connectivity on that, or no idea?
I mean, I honestly, I have no idea.
Because
hey,
it's better to just live in your own little world. I
mean, honestly, like there's enough stuff going on in here. I don't need to see the vitriol or of anything. And like people are like, you're missing some good stuff possibly. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. So I hope so. I mean, I hope so. But.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think people definitely have. I mentioned your journey with your career, but personally, you know, whether it's your mental illness, your OCD, so many different things that you've been through in your life. What are you most proud of in terms of just everything you've accomplished?
Well, you know, I don't know. Like, that's hard to say. I mean, last year was a really low point, and it was very, and I was not in a good place, right? And I had like, you know, gotten this modicum of success. And you know, and I was so grateful, and I was like, you know, and even during the pandemic, like I was like, yeah, I mean, but like, you know, I have medical insurance, I can pay for my therapy, I can pay for my meds, I know that I have my rent covered for the next year. Like I'm in the 99, like I you know, I'm in the one. I was like I'm in like that, like I'm so great, like I have so much, I was so privileged, you know. Yeah. And so it's hard to say, but like it was a really, really horrible time. And so like I don't know, I'm just really grateful that I got through it. And also that I have to say so many more people have it way, way worse. And so I don't want to get on here like, God, it was really hard, you know.
No, it was a tough time. I mean,
it was a tough time for so many.
Have those struggles or not, it was rough for everybody.
Yeah. And so, yeah. And I guess I just feel like what am I most proud of? I got to get over this. You know, I think that I'm thrilled that there's so many people that I love that have been given opportunities through the show. And also I have to say, nobody's given a job on the show, right? I think people are like, oh, Abby's just hiring her friends. Like, I think, you know, the fact that we stay here and like that we can audition folks here and like, you know, I don't know. I don't want to say that sounds arrogant if I say I'm proud of it. I'm thrilled about it. How about that? Because like I've been given the opportunity. Like, how did I get this opportunity? And so many people haven't been given it. So I love that part. And I think it's very based in improv, right? Like you just bring each other up, right?
Absolutely.
So
And you've held the door open for other people to
I
come in,
hope
which I think
so.
is a
I
beautiful
hope
thing.
so. I
Yeah.
hope so. Yeah.
I think you have. Well, Abby, it's great hanging out with you again. Really excited for season 2. Thanks so much. We got to do this in person next time.
I mean, honestly, for real. And congratulations. I'm so excited for you,
Thank you.
your family. I'm so excited for you.